everyone, and welcome to the Next Best Picture podcast, where we are talking with the writer and director of the new film Afire, Christian Petzold. Christian, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, I'm here in New York, and I like to speak.
Well, we're very excited to be speaking with you. This film, Afire, you've said that it was at least in part inspired by the films of Eric Rohmer. You received, if I understand correctly, you received a box set of his work when you had COVID. And I'm wondering how much the effect did the pandemic have on the inception of this story?
I have you're right. I have the whole work of from Eric Rohmer as a present by the producer of Eric Rohmer's the company Film Losange have received this gift together with Paula Beer, and 1 week later I was infected with COVID. It was the March 2020. And there was no vaccine as a silver line, and we have fear. Paula has also COVID, and so Eric Rohmer was a little bit a vaccine. To watch Eric Rohmer movies in a very dark and depressive atmosphere of a springtime in Berlin, with lying in bed with fever.
It's the perfect time to watch Eric Rohmer.
It's a perfect time. Some people commit suicide later after the first 2 or 3 movies, but for me it was because I haven't seen Eric Rohmer movies for more than 20 years. Because they are part of my life when I was so old, like the protagonists in Afire. I've seen them in this time, and for me they are very important. But I have fear because they're a little bit boring. People are walking to the beach 25 minutes without editing and talking about love. So I love it so much, but I had fear to see it again. And then I saw it again, and I was totally impressed, because there are 2 things happened. It was for me like a memory of old times, and it's very important to see old times, how people in the 80s had kissed, loved, had danced, had thoughts, little movements, their seduction. You can see everything. And on the other hand, they're fantastic stories. They're great, fantastic stories. And so I was totally infected by Eric Rohmer. In this time, I had written a dystopia story based on a novel by Georges Simenon. And I said to myself, I don't want to make a dystopia story after this COVID shit. I'm through with dystopia things. The other hand was, I have seen so many dystopia movies, and I think they're all a little bit fascistic, because they have the wish and the desire to clean the whole world with fire, with water, with pollution, with war. And after this, there is a new standard, a new clean atmosphere, and we can rebuild a new society. And I think this is the fascist thinking. And so I think I want to make a movie which says our world, our love, our kisses, our forests, our looks and our views are fantastic. We have to fight for them. And there, in this atmosphere, I start to write Afire.
That's a really beautiful thing, to be conscious of the world around you like that. Did you find that writing the film helped you process your own feelings or internal drama that was happening during this time when we were all so isolated?
Yeah, I think many people, when they are lying a long time in bed with fever, they're thinking about their life, what they have, about the guilty things you have made in your life, the bad things you made, the lies you told, the money you have stolen from the parents, and so on. And I was there and I thought about me as an asshole when I was 25 years old. Yeah, I was really a cineastic asshole. Yeah, I know so much about cinema. Yeah, I I'm I'm a little bit like this asshole in the movie. It's a little bit about me, and I want to know what had happened to me to be an asshole when I was 25. Yeah, I'm living in Berlin when I was 25. I can study. Yeah, I have to work much because I'm from the working class, but it is not a problem. Others have to go to the factory. Why I was so hard? Why I was why I want to destroy the fun of others, for example. Yeah, and this feeling of guiltiness was a little bit an energy for a fire. The asshole guy in the fire is a little bit like me, and I want to relieve me and him a little bit.
Yeah. And you've said that it was very interesting. I was reading that you maybe didn't realize that the Leon, the writer in this film, is quite so much like you until the cast asked you about it on set. Um, can you talk about that moment of realization and what it felt like to have your work explained to you in this way?
This was an afternoon after rehearsals. I think these actors are too intelligent. I love intelligent actors, but these four are too intelligent. Yeah? They sit there and ask me. This was after the last rehearsal, and they asked me, Christian, do you have the same problems like Leon with your second movie? Yeah, and I said, yeah, some problems. They told us, tell us a little bit about this. Yeah, and I start to tell them about the second movie I have made. My first movie was success, and then I received money for a second one, and I think, boy, I'm in the middle of the world. Yeah? I'm on stage now. I can show the world what is in my mind. I'm so intellectual and so. And I start shooting a movie, and my girlfriend, later wife, until today, she visited me at the set, and she said to me, sorry, you are playing director. You're not directing. And I was really shocked because she was totally right. Yeah? Something was wrong with me. Yeah? I'm playing a director like Leon is playing a writer. Yeah? And he looks at himself as if a hidden camera is always around him. Yeah? And so I said to the actors, yeah, and I hope this discussion will end now, yeah, because I opened my mind, and they said, what was the title of your second movie? And I said, oh, it's Cuba Libre. Yeah, Cuba Libre. Ah, they start laughing. I said, why you are laughing? I don't like this. Yeah, and they said, yeah, the Club Sandwich is the name of his novel, yeah, of Leon's novel. And Club Sandwich and Cuba Libre, they look very similar. It's one is a drink, one is something to eat. Yeah, both you can order in a hotel room, in the loneliness of a boat hotel room, and so I think that you and Leon are very very similar to, yeah, and so I was really astonished that they are so intelligent. And I was also a little bit confused about their intelligence. And I said, "Stop now, discussion. I don't want to talk about me anymore." But I must say, we all laughed loud, and this laughing is something what is in the movie. Yeah, that means this is something. Therefore, I like this movie because it rescued me too.
I like that. I like that feeling that it rescued you. Speaking of the actors in this film, this is now your third film working with Paula Beer, fantastic leading lady from Undine and Transit, and now playing the role of Nadia in Afire. And prior to those three films, you had worked with Nina Haas on several films in a row together. Um, And I'm wondering, what is it in general that makes you want to work with an actor over and over again? And specifically, what about Paula has brought you back to her over these three films?
Yeah, the way from Nina to Paula is not so, it's not so far this way. It's, for me, it was a fantastic experience that, you know, in the history of cinema, there are so many male directors behind the camera, and there are so many young women in front of the camera, and there's a, they are not only muses, they are abused muses often. Yeah. So, and when they are getting old, the directors threw them away and something like that. And with Nina and now with Paula, I can talk about this relationship. Yeah. For example, in Afire, it's like this, that there is no view on Paula which is sexualized. Yeah. There is no silk underwood. There is no naked breast. There's no. I don't want to give her a light that she's that she's an object. Yeah. So Paula is always fighting, therefore, that she's a subject of a scene. Yeah, because she's of her own and she's independent. And this I like. I like the independence of beauty. This I like. Yeah, and I like that on both sides of the camera we are talking about, we are reflecting, and when we are reflecting and talking, we didn't de-enchant the world. You can say this? Disenchant the world. Yeah? Reflection can make something more sexier than no reflection. Yeah? So this was great with Paula. This was also great with Nina.
And Thomas Schubert, who plays Leon in the film, he's said that about your style as a director. He said that you don't try to work on the actor's craft, but to instead elevate their imagination.
Yeah.
What do you think he means by that, and how do you go about doing that on set?
I think it was. I never was on a set of someone else. I know that I don't know how other directors, female or male, are working. Yeah, but sometimes the actors are telling me their experiences when they work with others. Yeah, and I think I never go to an actor and say, "Sorry, you have a bad childhood. You was abused by the uncle or the father, and then you have to fight when something like that." I always tell stories. Yeah, stories like a material. Yeah, stories that there's a scene, and this scene reminded me on something I've seen or read or seen in the movies or so, and I'm telling them stories. And I think this material they use to make something out of it. It's not a program. It's something they can do it by themselves. This, I think, I respect this. Yeah, and for him, for Thomas, I think it was a new experience. He liked it a lot. Yeah, I hope we can work on with this, because he's a fantastic actor. He's really fantastic, and he is really innocent. And both Paula and Thomas, they never were on acting schools for actors. Yeah, they're coming. Their acting school is cinema. They had sat in cinemas and had watched what is perfect, and and they loved cinema. And the most actors in Germany, they have passed acting schools, and so you have to talk to them as if they are the middle of the world. But Paula and Thomas, they don't need that. Yeah, they love to hear music, they love to hear a good joke, a good story, and that's enough to work with. This is great.
And that's beautiful because that's a lot of what the movie is, sitting and talking about the things that inspire them, which is perfect. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you so much for speaking with us, Christian. And best of luck on your next project, which I hope we will see soon.
Yeah, next year we will shoot in September next year.
Fantastic. We will be on the lookout.
Okay, good.